2004, I went on my first short-term mission trip to Guatemala. I was 44 years old, and it was just something in the back of my mind I always wanted to do, and had a chance to visit. And we came to Guatemala, and we shared the gospel, and I didn't realize just how much of a significant impact that trip would have. My name's Dave Sgro, and I'm married to Angela, my beautiful wife. We have 13 kids. So we came here on our first mission trip, and just to watch my kids at 10 and 12 years old in another country sharing the gospel, just really, it was what I wanted. I wanted my kids to grow up to serve the Lord, to love the Lord, and I saw a short-term mission trip as an opportunity. So I was at the Rock. We were singing songs about, I will go, I will pay the price. And my heart was like, Lord, I'll do it. I will do it. And then I found myself thinking, well, maybe I could be a missionary, which was pretty radical considering that I had at the time, 10, 11 kids and a business and a house. And I was at that age in life where you just don't make major changes like that. But something inside me just kept saying, why not? Why not me? We're not our own. We were bought. We're God's. And I really said, Lord, if this is what you want for my life, I'll do it. I will serve. Whatever you want, Lord.
So one of the outreaches that we do here in Xenacoj is every Saturday morning we have a feeding program. So every Saturday morning we get up and we make scrambled eggs and we buy tortillas and black beans and we feed the kids. And every Saturday morning we open the door and there's kids just waiting for us, and they're just so cute and they always want to help us carry stuff, and sometimes the boys will take the Guatemalan boys will take the dogs with us. So we go down to the center and then we set up the tables, and it's just so cute because the kids help us. They help us set up the tables, they help us bring out the plates, and we even have some kids that'll stand there and they we'll fill up the plates with food and beans and tortillas, and they want to help pass out the food to the other kids, which is just so sweet because you know how hungry they are, but they want to help. They just want something to do. They're just so cute. I just love them. Yep, we serve the kids food, and they come back for seconds. And a lot of times, the kids will sometimes say, "Can I take a plate home for my mother, or can I take a plate home for my father?" Or it just breaks your heart, and So we always have little paper plates, and we send it home with them sometimes. But what they really love is all you have to do is buy a bag of balloons for like $4 or $5, blow up balloons, and play games. And they would go out on the street, and they just run back and forth and pop balloons. And it's just so easy to please them. They're just so easy to please,
So before we came to Guatemala, we owned a karate school, and that's a lot of planning. When you have a business, there's a lot of planning and organizing classes and testings and tournaments, and you're planning sometimes 3, 6, even a year in advance. When we realized we had to move to Guatemala, it was a step of faith. It was a huge step of faith, and we had to tell our kids, and we knew it was what we needed to do. We knew it was the right thing to do, but there's always a part of you that's saying, are you sure? There's always a part of you that's saying, this is not moving from Fayetteville to Hope Mills. This is big. This is moving to another country. But once he makes it clear to you, once you told him you'll do it, then you're stuck in a tough place. What do I do? That's what happened to us. Short-term missions is a great way to take a first initial step. It really gives you a chance to see another world. It really gives you a chance to look at your own life through a completely different set of eyes. When we came back after our short-term trip, we really knew there is a chance to start a whole new life. And we took a step of faith. So at 49 years old, we sold everything and relocated. You know, God is sometimes an 11th hour God, but sometimes as you get close to that end of that time is when you see God move the most. And so sometimes the greatest challenges in life bring in the greatest movements of God. Since we've been here, I felt like I was on one of the little cartoons where the kid's sleeping and he steps off the roof and there's that I-beam. And as soon as that I-beam ends, another one's there, and it continues on all the way down to the ground. You know, one of the coolest things about being a missionary and living in another country with your kids is the effect that it has on your family. You don't realize it at first, but you start looking at videos or pictures and you just slowly see changes. Last year at Christmas time, as we were making the Christmas list, Angie asked Natalie, "So what do you want?" And she said, "Mom, I don't want anything. I have everything I need."
My name is Natalie Grace Sgro and I'm 12 years old.
And what do you want to read? And she said, "Mom, I have plenty of books. There's a lot of kids here in Xenacoj that need books. Why don't we give it to them?" Every time she came up with something, Natalie's attitude was, "I have all the clothes I need. I have plenty of food to eat. I have plenty of books to read. Why don't we take care of the kids that don't have something?" And this is from a girl who's 12 years old. It really hit me. They're getting it. They're getting it, that life is about serving others, that life is about taking care of the poor. Life is about allowing yourself to be open to what God has for you.
I think one of the really important things about teaching English to these children and the adults, some adults come too, is that when they know English, they can go to the city and work at a call center and they get $5 an hour, and that's a lot of money for them. I think it's really cool that just for me spending an hour with them a couple times a week, I could really be helping their future. Hey, I'm Gabby Sgro and I'm 16 years old.
It's about what He did for us, not what we do for Him. And so we're here to share grace. We're here to share love. And having short-term mission teams come and just play with the kids is a great way to show God's love. It doesn't take special skills. You don't have to have a special talent. If you can speak English and you're willing to come, that's it. That's the requirements. We wanted to pick one area and really serve there, and that's Santo Domingo Xenacoj. So when teams come, we visit local public schools. At this point, we can walk into local public schools and proclaim that Jesus is Lord. We'll share English and play games, but we'll tell the kids why we're here. We're probably the only American family, or one of the only American families living in this area. And so people want to know, what are you doing here and why? Why are you here? So just being here, just being an American, being able to speak English builds a bridge. So the teams will come, they'll let us come into public schools, we'll get in the classroom, they'll teach the kids basic English phrases, and they'll share the gospel. And we've seen hundreds of kids accept the Lord at public schools. I don't know how long that window is going to be open, but as long as it's open, we're going to take advantage of it and we're going to share our faith. This year, Just last month, we brought Christmas to over 3,000 kids. There's a picture of my van with 3,000 plastic soccer balls on it. And so we drove around the U.S. collecting toothbrushes and dolls and marbles and playing cards and pencils and pens and all kinds of things. And so that's one of the things that really is a joy, is it doesn't take much here. We're so blessed in the United States. We have so much. And I found myself really just wondering, how much do I really need? How much do I really need? And I found that I really need a lot less than I thought I ever needed. And I found out that I could have everything in the world, but there was a joy that I had in giving a little kid Christmas. There was just more joy that I had in sharing the gospel. And I just started to see the joy of the Lord, and that became my strength. Just serving here, living amongst the folks here, serving them breakfast, giving them karate lessons for free. All that just adds to the joy. If you sow bountifully, you will reap bountifully. And it has been a huge blessing to live here in Guatemala. We love the people, we love the culture, we love the food, we love Xenacoj. We've seen God move in so many ways. We just know the Lord is with us, and there's a joy that comes from that that's very difficult to explain.